This is Ella, and you're listening to Frey. Starting right now. Here's your host, Alfredo Leon.
Thank you, Ella, and this is indeed Frey, as Need for Speed Payback is scheduled to come out on November 10th for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and there are a number of new features that EA announced, including a customization trailer that showcases the customization of the cars, which is pretty cool to see the new features that it has in the game, which includes perks and stuff, as we'll get to in a bit. And every part of the car can be customized in addition to body kits in Payback, which is a big reminder. It's similar to the customization of Need for Speed Underground 2. Underground 2 had a lot of customization options, including hydraulics, being able to change the trunk audio in the car, including putting music, speakers, or NOS. It was incredible to be able to put all that in the back of the car. The NOS tank and everything like that was cool. Be able to add vitals in the windshield and in the rear as well. It was pretty cool to see that, putting all decals, everything in the car, to showcase how much customization was there in the car. It also had a number of different types of body kits, roof scoops, mirrors, everything in that nature. Was incredible to see in Underground 2. And no game has been able to top that since Underground 2, but Payback is trying to become the next one of Underground 2, which would be cool to see that. And after every race is completed in Payback, you can earn perks of different car parts such as transmission, engine, suspension, and more, which is pretty cool. However, you can also buy the parts that you choose in the auto shop. Let's say you want one specifically from Ghost or Need for Speed or any other brand that if you want that specific look or specific part, you can get that in the auto shop by buying it there. And that is also like Underground 2 in a sense that you have to drive to different dealerships and shops in order to acquire different cars. That was the case in Underground 2 indeed, as you had to drive to certain shops to get certain parts. Let's say you wanted roof scoops or mirrors, like I said, you got to drive to the body shop. Or if you wanted to change the audio and graphics of the car, you got to go to the body specialty shop. Or if you wanted to change the performance of the car, you have to go to the performance shop. Or if you want to get specific cars, you have to go to the car lot, which is around different points of the map, like Beacon Hill or the city center, or even in Cole Harbor in Underground 2, some of the places there. So, and there was no fast travel in that game either, so that was pretty cool to see that, as there's not scheduled to be any fast travel in Payback either, which brings back the old school form of Need for Speed in that sense. And here is YouTuber Theo Thomas, aka BlackPanthaa, speaking about what comes with the perks and more. Here it is.
Come with parts. They're very random. For example, if you want a part, there might be a chance it has a perk on it. These perks give you numerous things. Bonuses such as top speed, acceleration, nitrous, air, and braking. Some special parts have multiple perks, and the parts also have brands or manufacturers, if you will. So equipping multiple of the same manufacturer also gives you a boost. The boost on that is determined what the company specializes in, so there's different types of company, and each one specializes in certain things. There was one called, I think it was called Americana, so that will give you a boost advantage for your race car. An example of one of these perks would be that an air perk allows you to very easily go across the mounds, like fly across. It makes your car lighter to get through the air easier. I think that's quite cool. Adding like perks into it, again, it makes it an overall RPG experience, and that's kind of what you want going forward with racing games. So not only introduces kind of almost a grind to get the next parts, which I like, getting your car to even more past perfection, just getting the perfect pieces that you need, and then crafting, say, the ultimate car that has 3 perks per special part, and it's just like, you could just make something so awesome, and it's going to take you a while to do it, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to if you don't want to, but the option is there.
That's pretty cool to see that the perks are there and be able to customize the card any way you want. You don't have to use the perks if you don't want to, but they're there, and just in case you need it, just like BlackPanthaa said right there. And the parts shop is there for specific parts that you may want from specific brands, like I said, such as Rocket Bunny or Need for Speed, or even Ghosts if you want some of those parts, or other parts as well from different brands as well. And the garage updates their sucks, so a number of different parts will be available, so definitely check back whenever you can to see what other new parts are there that you may like, because the parts will change throughout the time at the stock in the garage as well. And they could range from spoilers to bonnets to fenders and more, which is pretty cool. It's also neat that you can equip the car parts to the car without ever having to go back to the garage, which is good, because let's say you're at a perk and you wanted to equip it to the car right away, that you liked it. After a race, you could just put it right on the car. You don't have to worry about driving all the way to the garage, which helps saves time and everything like that. If you like that part that you got via the perk, you can equip it to the car and just get it right away, and you'll be able to access it immediately, and you don't have to worry about driving to the garage, which is good. Other parts include in the game Neon, tire smoke, air suspension, and nitrous flames. Neon had not been in a Need for Speed game since Underground 2, which is hard to believe that it hadn't been in a game since Need for Speed Underground 2. That means it was not in Most Wanted 2005, Carbon, Pro Street, Undercover, the Shift games, the Run, Most Wanted 2012, Rivals, and Need for Speed 2015. Shows that that's pretty incredible that it hadn't been in the game since that long. And it was definitely one of the more coveted things in Payback to be included. It was pretty cool to see that Neon is back, and that's a good thing because Neon is such a big part of the tuner culture, or even car culture in general. As one of the big things in especially the Fast and Furious movies, the Neon was a big part of cars there, and that's pretty cool to see that in there. I can't believe that even though Need for Speed 2015 was supposed to be a game that was supposed to be like Underground 3, being raced in the nighttime and stuff like that, did not have Neon in that game, despite having a lot of tutors in that game, even though it had exotics and muscle cars as well. It shows that it was good that they finally had Neon in a Need for Speed game, which is good. And those parts are considered vanity customization, Neon tire smoke, air suspension, and nitrous flames. And they allow your car to stand out from the competition. The combinations of the colors are up to you. So basically, if you wanted a blue Neon, you can make the car blue, or even change the smoke to that blue as well, which is included with the pre-order, the blue smoke. But you can change it to any color you want just to make it stand out, which is pretty cool in that sense as well. Something that you hadn't seen in a Need for Speed game in a long time. And the air suspension allows the car to be as low as possible, as it could possibly be, up to the point of touching the floor, meaning that it could drag on the floor, and it could be like one of those things that you could just drag on the floor. It'd be pretty cool to see that. And you get sparks flying all over the place, and that's pretty cool as well. So that shows a lot of creativity you can do in Payback. And the categories of performance customization range from block to head to turbo and exhaust, as well as ECU, as said by BlackPanthaa. Upgrades are key in order to stay competitive in races, as they're important to try to customize it as the game goes along, because it can get harder. It will get harder, so you need to upgrade your car to get faster cars to be able to compete with faster racers. And level 1 parts are at tier 1, while level 18 parts are maxed out when the car's tier is at 3.99. Meaning that if you have more upgrades to your car, that your tier will be a lot higher because your performance will be a lot higher as well. And perks are also key in improving the car's performance, which is good that there's perks in the game, because then if you want to equip that part right away, you can, so you can be able to compete right away with other racers. And here's Thomas BlackPanthaa speaking about how vanity customization can be.
Well, so have you seen those cars, the Stance, Nation cars, whatever, when they pull up, they go down? Like on Midnight Club LA had this feature where you would drive along, the car would just and just sit there, chill. Makes the car look fantastic, and that's all it is. It's a vanity item. You don't necessarily need it, but it looks cool. But it also gives a practical balance, because if you want it to look cool, like slams to the ground, you don't have to remove the ability for your car to actually drive properly.
That's pretty cool, you know. It's pretty cool to be able to do that as well. So also, the trailer reveals the pre-orders cars that have been announced at E3, which includes the 2008 Nissan 350Z, 1967 Chevrolet Camaro SS, 1969 Dodge Charger RT, 2016 Ford F-150 Raptor, and a 2016 Volkswagen Golf GTI Club Sport. These cars are part of the Platinum Car Pack, but are also available in the main game at launch, as these are already customized and tuned out cars. So these would already be done for you, but you could customize them already in the game. They will be in the game. It's not like they wouldn't be, because the 350Z was scheduled to be in the game. It is in the game, so you'll be able to access it no matter what. But this is just cars customized already for you, so you get a bit of a head start in your career. And there are also 5 derelicts in the game, which are the 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air, 1965 Ford Mustang, 1971 Nissan Fairlady Z, 1965 Chevy C10 step-side pickup, and a 1963 Volkswagen Beetle. Parts for the derelicts can be found throughout the map, which are used to build up your car up to a certain point. And these are the only cars that can be built for any car class, which is drift, drag, off-road, race, and road. That's pretty cool, since you can make it look like anything you want it to be. You can change it. It could look like a different vehicle than what it was actually in originally once you acquired that car. So they could also be sold and bought back and available in the dealer once, just like any other vehicle. So it'll be like any other vehicle once you find all the parts for that vehicle, which is pretty cool at that sell. Derelicts are sort of like a barn find, like barn finds in the Forza Horizon series. The difference between that and the Forza Horizon series is that when you found the car in that series, in the Forza Horizon series, you end up getting the car right away. You don't find parts like for the car. In Payback, it's a little bit more of a challenge, so you're able to find parts throughout the map, which is pretty cool at itself. And once the class is chosen, there's no going back and changing that class of that specific vehicle. So let's say you got the Bel Air, and you wanted it to be race class. You put in race class, but you can't change it back to different class. Let's say you wanted to get it off road. You can't do that with that car, but you can buy it again. Like any vehicle can be purchased again in that dealership, and a different class can be chosen for that car, just not for that one specific car. But you can be able to build it in different versions of that car, like multiple vehicles of that same car, multiple versions of that car. So that's pretty cool there as well. Each derelict has 5 parts that can be found throughout Orchard Valley. That's the chassis, wheels, drivetrain, and 2 unique parts as well, which hasn't been revealed, so you have to figure that out once you find it on the map. The location of each part will be in the map, like I said. Once derelicts go into Tier 3, there could be a super build, which could essentially turn the car to a monster. That's insane. That'd be pretty crazy seeing one of those cars be built like a monster truck, similar to the Fiat 500 in the Crew, which is pretty cool to see something like that in the Payback, which shows like the customization has been incredibly raised there, and then you could be able to make those derelicts into anything you want it to be, which is pretty cool. Make it look unrecognizable anymore, and that shows like how cool that could be there. And there's also a number of dealerships in the game, which includes different car types that suit each type of vehicle. They are FVX Exotics, which are exotics, Classic, which is classic muscle car muscles, like modern muscle rally, like rally type vehicles and sports combat. It's good that the cars are all organized, so you don't have to search through the dealership for different cars all in one deal. That's good, because if you want a specific vehicle type, you just go to that dealer and get it right there, which makes it a lot easier, and you save a lot of time compared to just searching for the vehicle throughout the whole dealer, like you see in typical racing games, in most racing games. And also, you can purchase up to 5 garages, which would end up having unlimited storage for all of your cars. If you get all 5 garages, meaning you can own every car in the game, because you're able to have all 5 garages, which is pretty cool in that sense. And gas stations will also return in Payback, which was in other Need for Speed games as well, such as I believe was in Most Wanted 2012, and I believe was also in Rivals. And they are beneficial in repairing your car or in fill up your nitrous tank, which is good, because in case you're suffering damage in a race or getting chased by cops or whatever, or you ran out of nitrous, you can fill it up in the tank there as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this one about Need for Speed Payback. It should be definitely fun to see what happens and more news about Payback as well. Definitely forward to this game. Haven't been excited about a Need for Speed game in a long time, so especially with this game not having online features anymore. Only, but it will still have online features, but it won't be an online only game, which is pretty cool in that sense, to be able to play it like offline and stuff. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this one, and have a great day. And enjoy, and hopefully you enjoy Need for Speed Payback news and get more news about it. And peace.